Hey, what's going on, guys? Let's just jump right into looking through my bills from the last few days, if I can talk right, and look for error notes and collectible banknotes that are worth more than face value, or are at least collectible. So what are we looking for? We're looking for misprints, we're looking for issues with ink, we're looking for collectible serial numbers, and of course overall error notes. If you're totally confused already, no big deal. Hit subscribe and jump over to my main channel page where I talk all about collectibles in general, but mainly banknotes. Before I knock my camera over entirely, let's just get into it. Looking at the serial number first, we have some repetitious digits, but nothing in a pattern, so not a fancy serial number. Series 2017A, 2017, and 2013 are really known to have a lot of over-inks on the second and third digit, but unless they're really dramatic, this one's just a little heavy printed, then they're not really worth anything worth or over face value. Keep an eye out on the reverse of the notes around the Great Seal, which has got the kind of heraldic eagle here with the crest, and the unfinished pyramid where it says Annuit Septis and Novus Ordo Seclorum. Sometimes you'll get issues where this fine detail is with some blurring in the ink. Also, if you notice, there's kind of this little bleed through. Looks like a thumbprint almost, but it's actually just excessive ink from the front or a wet ink transfer, which is essentially where they cut the notes, stack them on each other from production, and some wet ink transfers to the other note. We also look at the seals and serial numbers to see if they're shifted. In this case, this thing is beat all up. So hard to tell. It's been also wet. It's thinned out. It's almost towards the end of its life. 2006. So it's actually exceeded the kind of 8 to 10 year usage that they say that $1 bills have. This thing's really beat up. Condition is 9/10 of the law. Kind of like with business. Location. Collectibles are condition. I'll stop yapping as much. We'll go a little quicker. Nothing in the serial number here. Missing a few digits from a broken ladder where it would be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Little shift down in the seal here from the Department of the Treasury, but not enough and not sitting on other parts of the note for me to hold on to. Really folded up, another bit of that wet ink transfer. Nothing really jumping out at me. Nice $100 note. A couple digits off. Would have been nice to have like 0112-2032. That would have been an upcoming birthday serial number. Those are really sought after by a lot of people. They're not always worth like tons over face value, but for a really crisp $100 note, if let's say this was like January 15th, 2032, although a bit in the future, it is a upcoming birthday note, and you could probably get a few bucks over face value, maybe $120, $130 for it to the right person. Nothing jumping out on the back. Really nice depiction of Independence Hall. Keep an eye out around kind of anti-counterfeit measures where this little watermark you can kind of see here, and the repetitious hundreds and kind of things like that. I have a video I just did that covers all about $100 notes, so check that out on things to look for. Nothing in the serial number on this guy. 2017, like I said, those generally have a little bit of over-inks. This one doesn't. And nothing on the back. Nice $20 note. No, 666, the mark of the beast. 2013 note. I'm just playing around. Nothing in the serial number. Little beat up too, but not bad. Tore up here. And what is going on here? A little bit of stamp action. Hard to tell what that is. Usually these are a counter stamp, which is like the strap for holding all the notes together was right here. They stamp it when they get it at the bank or businesses, generally, the bank. And sometimes the stamp they just miss and put it on the note. I like stamp notes if you can see the whole stamp. They're kind of neat. This one looks like just some ballpoint pen. You can tell from the shininess of it. Nothing in the serial number there. Printed pretty straight. No shifts in the seals or anything like that. Back of the note. Nothing nuts. Kind of cool. It is a date note, I guess. April 31st, which just passed, but in the year 390. So not a birthday note. I mean, I guess it's somebody's birthday, right? But I like to stick with the dates that are within kind of U.S. history, since this is U.S. currency. Maybe you do the same if you collect currency elsewhere. But this is still kind of cool and gives you kind of an ode to something, for something to look for. So this is a good example of a date note, but we really would want like 04/31/1990. That would have been really good. But still kind of cool and something to keep an eye out for. I will set it aside, not to really keep, but to kind of point out at the end of the video. $1 notes really beat up. 2017A, you can kind of see an ode to how bills are made. The seals and serial numbers remain pretty clean, and the rest of the bills really beat up. This is because it goes through a three-phase printing process called an intaglio process, where portions are in the note, printed in the note, some on the note. Nothing on the back. Yeah, 1, 2, missing a bunch of digits. Really prominent serial number, though. If it was completely an over-inked serial number, I might hold on to it, but not so much. 2013 note. And really beat up on the back. 2021 note. The only difference in this dollar bill and one from the late 50s is the signatures on the bottom. The last time $1 bills were revised was to put "In God We Trust" on the back, because you really want a, good separation of church and state. And other than that, they haven't been redesigned in, 70 some odd years, 70 years or whatever. I can't really math. But overall, nothing really to jump out for collecting. I don't know if that's a 60 or says go. But either way, thanks for writing on the note, whoever. That actually detracts from value quite a bit, even if it was like a famous autograph or something. That's like when you go get a comic book signed by an artist or whoever. It actually brings down the value in most cases, where it cannot be considered gem mint since somebody's written on it. Kind of cool. 6600, 1804, but not really pattern enough for me to hold on to. If this was repetitious across the whole serial number, I would have called that kind of a repeater serial number, which is pretty self-explanatory. Also, this one's got highlighter on it. It's all folded up and creased up. 2017A $1 note. Yeah, again, pretty beat up. The newer, like 2017 on, I noticed have a little darker black ink to them, or dark gray. I think it's really considered a black. But anyway, so they're a little more prominent in general as far as the graphics. Now this one's really beat up. It's also been wet. You can tell from the discoloring around the folds there. There's nothing to call home about. If this had a couple different digits to be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, would have been what's called a broken ladder. But not this case. One thing to keep an eye out for is where that 3-7 kind of sits a tad high. If they're way off, people will call those stuck digits or odometer notes, since it looks like an odometer ticking over. If they're really dramatic and they're a high percentage off, then those can be worth pretty good money. But in this case, being really beat up and this one not being so dramatic, it's not going to be worth it's not going to be worth anything over $1. We're going to pass that one up too. And nothing in the serial number here. 2017 note, same deal. Keep an eye out for all the same nice little things. Little shift in the seal here. This will coincide with a slight shift over to the left in this case with the serial numbers. And nothing going on the back of the note that jumps out. Again, keep an eye out around the seal. Sometimes that fine detail can get blurred together. This one's real beat. 2006. So we had a couple of those in here. This one looks like almost fake. It's not though, but this thing is done. But again, you can see the usage of that intaglio printing process and how dark in color these seals are and serial numbers compared to the rest of this note with all the damage. There's nothing there. Last two, it's been an adventure. Here's what I'm talking about. 2017A with that hefty over ink. I see them on eBay go for, in this case, like dollars. I see them go for like $3 to $5. I don't think they're worth that. It's super common, but if you want to collect them and sell them for that, more power to you. This one's kind of cool with repetitious 5s and 8s in it, but without being kind of a repeating pattern across the whole thing. And this isn't like totally a blob or totally blurred out with ink. I'm going to call it a regular kind of spender. And other than that, it's printed all fine, so moving on. Last note, really good repetition of 4s and 1s, but without it kind of transcending the whole serial number, I'm not going to hold on to it for that. Nice and clean overall. One little booger right here and a nice fold right here. I don't see anything else jumping out at me on $20 notes by the depiction of the White House. Sometimes you'll get some ink smears from these trees. I think just because it takes extra ink during the printing process and it gets smeared. So if you see those, I'd hold on to those. Aside from that, kind of how this serial number is poking through. If you can read the whole thing, I've seen people sell those pretty steadily as well to the right collector. So nothing really crazy in this serial number, bill search, guys. Can't talk today. This one I just kept for the end of this video. I'm not going to hold on to it. I'm just going to spend it on good old bills. But something to keep an eye out for is good old birthday notes or date notes. If it's like, you know, July 4th, 1776, then not only is that a birthday note, but, you know, it's an important historical date. Same as like the beginning of entering wars or political shifts or whatever. Those are always good to hold on to. So date notes in general that fall kind of in U.S. history or modern day history or modern day are going to be the best and most sought after. In this case, this one's just a good example of what could have been. So nothing really fire in this bill search. Hopefully you've had better luck. Let me know what you've come across in your coin and banknote searches lately in the comments. I love reading about it. I'll see you there, and I'll see you in the next video. Hit subscribe if you like collectibles, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.